Welcome back to the channel of SA Accounting Network. In today's video, I want to chat to you guys about the basic operations of running a business. Remember that we're still busy with the free business mentoring course. We're busy with the first phase of the course. Remember, there's 6 altogether. And then, so we're busy with the 9th section in this. And remember, all the stuff that we're busy doing now is still part of the research to building up to a business plan. I think that is at the end goal of this phase, is that we can be able to compile a business plan for the basic idea that you have to run your business. So just to recap, just briefly. First thing, remember, we talked about business ideas was the first section. Second idea was how to test the business ideas. Third thing is how to identify target markets. Then we looked at competitive research. We touched quickly on vision, SWOT analysis. The 7th one was the financial planning one. Then we looked at the break-even analysis and the cash flow projection, what that looks like. And today's video, we're looking at the basic operations and just the systems and stuff to have in place when you're going to be running your business. So this worksheet that we're working on, in the description of the video, there is a link to a webpage where you can go download all these different documents that I'm busy discussing with you guys. And you can use it, amend it, complete it, so that you have all these things on record. So when we start compiling your business plan, then you have all these details together already. So just before I jump down to my computer, remember to give the video a like, remember to subscribe. Let me jump down to my computer, then I can explain to you guys what I have in plan for you in terms of the basic operations of your business. So the basic operations and system guide. So this is just like I said, once again, the thing that I'm busy with now is I'm giving you guys a roadmap of how to start a business, what things to consider, what must be in place, and not to start a business and only think about these things afterwards, So establishing efficient operations or systems is crucial for running a smooth business. This guide covers the fundamental processes you need to have in place before launching. So the first thing is the business registration and legal aspects. We're just going to talk very, very briefly on this. Remember, the second phase of the business mentoring course, we're going to be touching about all the basics, setting up the shell and all the basic compliance stuff. So there, we're going to unpack this quite a bit more in depth. But I think for now, it's just important just to think about the basic stuff about the businesses. So while the full business registration compliance will be covered in detail in phase 2, it's important to consider the following stuff. So choose the business structure, sole proprietors, PTY limiteds, non-for-profits. You'll see that on my YouTube channel, I've got lots and lots of content. There's a series which is called Starting a Business, All You Need to Know. So there I do comparisons between sole proprietors and companies, and if you do register a company, all the aspects that you need to consider and stuff. So go have a look at that just to get a little bit more insights of what might be the best solution for your business that you want to start. Okay. Then the second thing is to check whether you need any special licenses or permits. Remember, whenever you're going to be working with food or alcohol or drugs or anything like that, there's a lot of compliance stuff that you need to be aware of, and make sure that you have those licenses in place. You don't want to invest a lot of money to maybe put up a bottle store and then all of a sudden you realize that you don't have liquor licenses. So all those type of things is really, really important. I say consider opening up a bank account. I don't think it's a consideration. You must open up a bank account. So it doesn't matter which format you're going to use for your business, whether it's a sole proprietor, a company, non-for-profit, a trust, all that type of stuff. You must always have a business bank account, and all the business-related expenses must always go through that account. Never pay business-related stuff out of your personal account. So if you're starting up a business, and let's say, for instance, you're going to be using your own funds to start the business, so if it's 100,000 Rand, you transfer that 100,000 Rand from your personal account over to the business account. You reference that thing direct to loan, and then once the business starts making money, you can repay that 100,000 Rand back to you without having to worry about paying tax or anything like that. So that's really, really important. The thing is, if you don't do it through the business bank account and you pay it out of your personal account, and SARS looks at that stuff, then they're going to say, listen, but this stuff doesn't come out of the business account. So then you're going to have to fight with them to allow those expenses. So that's just a quick tip over there. And then begin tracking expenses for tax and financial planning. That's really, really important as well. Just to think about what filing systems you can have in place. Once again, that same series that I recorded, Starting a Business, All You Need to Know, you'll see that I did 2 videos on filing systems. The one is for paper-based filing systems, where we touched briefly on the file filing system for businesses, and the second one is electronic filing systems. And obviously, it's also important to think about what accounting package you're going to use. There's different variations of different things, and then the next part of the series in phase 2, we're going to unpack that a bit more, whether it's going to be something basic like a paper-based system, whether you want to do something electronic, very basic, a spreadsheet or something like that, or whether you want to install perhaps some desktop version of QuickBooks or something like that, or whether you want to go in something like a cloud-based accounting system, I think, which is probably the best solution for 99% of businesses, because the cloud systems actually interacts with a lot of other different systems like point of sales and stock keeping systems and inventory systems and stuff and websites. So all that stuff we're going to discuss in phase 2 of setting up your business, but it's important to start doing research in those type of things so that you know which accounting package you're going to use. Are you going to be a company? Where do you want to bank? So even with banks as well, there's a lot of research that you can do. I've obviously banked with a couple of places as well, and so I think it's really important to think where you want to open up your business bank accounts. Financial systems and record keeping, here we go. So having a financial system in place will help you to stay organized and make informed decisions. Choose an accounting method like manual. We're going to unpack that a bit further. There are software like Xero, QuickBooks or Sage. As you guys know, on my YouTube channel I have lots and lots of videos on Sage. I think probably for people that are starting out their business, I think Sage is a really, really good option. It's a bit cheaper than what Xero is, and it's a lot more user-friendly for people that's just starting out with business. This is my opinion. So set up a business bank account to separate personal and business finances and track income and expenses regularly. So these days, with cloud accounting packages, remember, you have the option to link your bank account to that accounting package. Every day when you log into the system, all the transactions imports automatically. So all that you need to tell it is what it was for. So if they see a certain description, you're going to say account, bank charges. Second description, account, fuel. So it is quite easy to track those type of expenses inside modern day accounting packages. And then the next one is to consider working with an accountant or bookkeeper if needed. So if you don't know if accounting is your thing, whether you've got a feel for it, whether you've got a basic understanding, I would always highly recommend that you reach out to an accountant or a bookkeeper that can just help you through the basics. I think I did mention, obviously, one of the things that we're busy looking at now is just the statistics of how many businesses actually make it past the first year and how many businesses make it past the 10th year. So they say only 4% of businesses make it past the 10th year. At the moment, I'm serving about 80 companies altogether, of which 31% of those companies are really older than 10 years. So there's definitely a benefit of running a business and having an accountant on board to help you through the compliance stuff and just bouncing ideas off and compliance stuff with an accountant. So I think that's really, really important to have somebody on your team that can assist with that. Yes, operational processes and workflows. So clearly define how your business will operate, ensures efficiency and consistency. Identify key daily, weekly and monthly tasks. Outline service delivery, product fulfillment steps. So I think just the practical things of how that thing will operate. What time do you open in the morning? What time do you close in the afternoons? How many staff do you need? What will the role be of each one of those staff members? So I think the next thing there, document standing operating procedures for all employees if it's applicable, is what would the roles be of each of the employees that work there. I do recall, so this is quite interesting, one of my friends, I'm quite good, not good friends, but it's somebody that I've dealt with quite a bit in the past. He has a bolt-on business, and what happened, he decided probably about 10 years ago that he would dicker this business. He doesn't want to know anything about it. He started working 6 o'clock in the morning, he was working until 10 o'clock at night, and he was just burning out, and he was ready to throw in the towel to say, listen, he just wants to start and just go sit on the beach and surf every day. Then he got a hold of a business coach, and this guy said the first thing, he says, you start and you write down exactly what it is that you do for a whole week. Every 5 minutes, I want to know what you're busy with. And then once you started doing this thing, you realize, listen guys, I'm doing the work that I'm paying people to do. So inside his factory, you would have somebody, let's say, for instance, that, I don't know, cuts meat. And then the guy would come to ask him, say, listen, please come check, I'm not sure how to do this. Then he would do the work for him. Then the next thing, then something else breaks or something needs to be done. Then he's got to go do that for that person. So he realized that he's paying these people, but he was just doing the work for them. So it's all those things. So what then happened is that coach told him, so listen, you document every single step in your business itself. And from that, you can then start combining standing operating procedures. So you can employ this person and this role of this business to do these 20 or 30 steps. steps. The second person, there's a 20 or 30 steps, especially when you start looking at bigger type of operations. It's really, really important to do that. Yes, and I think just to get a big picture of what you're doing with your business, I think it's important to document those things. I think, create systems for tracking orders, invoices, and customer interactions, and make sure that you've got a nice email system going. Make sure you've got a proper accounting system where you can send out quotes and follow up on quotes and stuff like that. Customer and marketing systems. Understand how you will attract and serve customers is key to any business success. Identify a basic marketing strategy, word of mouth, social media, paid ads, etc. We will still stand still. I think in the next video we're going to be talking about marketing strategy. So I think that's something that I'm very passionate about, and then we can unpack that a little bit further. Set up a simple customer relationship management system and track leads. So that's important. I always say that leads, if somebody sends the inquiry through, once that thing drops in your inbox, within 30 minutes, you need to make contact with that guy. Because if you wait too long, people lose interest. You have to hit that iron while it's still hot. I think that's really, really important. I did a first aid course, I remember a while ago, and they talk about a golden hour. So that first hour that you have to respond to medical emergencies. And I think for business, the same rules apply. If somebody sends a lead through or they make contact with you, within that first hour, you need to reach back out to the guy. So listen, thanks for the email, or thanks for the lead. Can we set up a meeting? Even if that meeting is not in the same day, it can be a couple of days later, but that initial contact, you can't drop the ball there. You must be quick on those things. Yes. Develop process for handling inquiries, quotes, and follow-ups, and create a basic website or social media presence. And I think with websites, we will unpack that a little bit with the next video as well, but to make sure that you get the right people when it comes to website. I'm very sometimes a bit opinionated about websites. You get people that does a brilliant job, that design probably the most beautiful website, but if you look at the technical side of it, the search engine optimization, then that website probably will never rank anywhere on Google just because the basic stuff for search engine optimization wasn't done right. Okay, number 5, we're looking at technology and productivity tools. Leveraging the right technology will improve efficiency and business operations. Choose a communication tool. Which email are you going to use? These days there's so many different options. Obviously, we grew up with Outlook and stuff like that, and probably for the past 10 years we've been working on Gmail for Business, and that thing is brilliant. I can go back and find any email that was sent to me within probably the past 15 years just using my Gmail account. So I think that's brilliant. There's a reason why they do what they do. Stuff like Slack and Zoom. Even use project management tools, Trello, Asana, ClickUp to stay organized. I'm in love with Trello. That's probably one of our go-to programs that we use inside our offices to manage tasks between all the different employees. So go check out all those things and go check on YouTube and see which programs it is that you want to use for your business one day. And I think, let's quickly see. Automate repetitive tasks where possible, so invoicing, appointment scheduling, etc. So we use a program called Calendly, and on that thing you can actually go there and book an appointment with me, and so then the email just pops up on my side to say that this person made an appointment with me. They set up the Zoom call and all that stuff, so everything is automated. I don't need to go back to them and say, listen, what about this day or that day or that day? It just does it automatically for you. So there's a lot of stuff. Invoicing as well. Like I said, I'm in love with Sage. I'm a big Sage boy. And what we do at our accounting practice is we work with recurring invoices, because we invoice the same for our clients every month unless there's something extraordinary that needs to be done. But the nice thing is I set up those recurring invoices once. On the first of every month, all my invoices go out, and I know that those people receive the invoices. In the past, I used to have to take a whole day just to do my invoicing, because then I have to go through the list and make sure that every single person gets invoiced. Now with recurring invoices, I set it up once and I don't forget about it. I know that the invoices will be done. So just stupid stuff like that, that ends up saving your time, and just make sure that you don't drop the ball. Ensure proper cybersecurity measures, password management, backups. I'm a big Norton fan. I've always been, and I think all my computers are covered by Norton. Password management is important. Backups is really, really important as well. So you do need to investigate into those things. Evaluate and adjust operations. Once operations are in place, regularly review them. Will help you identify areas of improvement. So schedule periodic reviews of financial records and processes. gather feedback from customers and employees if it's possible, and adjust strategies based on performance and industry trends. So always make sure that you keep in touch with what's happening in the industry so that you know if there's maybe newer technology out there that will simplify your job and make it a bit quicker or a bit easier for you to do your work. Adjust strategies based on performance and industry trends, and keep documentation updated as the business grows. I think, conclusion, by implementing these foundational systems, you'll be in a strong position to run an efficient business. In phase 2, we will dive deep into the compliance, registrations, and legal structures. So I think this section over here, the basic operations, I think is food for thought, but it's important that you must think about it before you start your business so that you already know which software packages you're going to use to get to know those packages and see how they work and how you interact with them, do the basic registrations and stuff. So when you hit the ground, you can hit the ground running, that you don't have all these little nitty-gritty stuff that pops up that trips you up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be talking about marketing.